Okay, so,
I just drew a picture for it. That was literally my project.
Yeah, I just drew a picture for that.
all right, let's do this. Let's write the equation of a hyperbola given this information. So it's everything we learned yesterday, so we're just going to apply it kind of backwards today. So we have a center, we have a transverse axis, we have eccentricity, and we have a vertical focal axis. Oh my, that looks hard. Let's try this one first. We're going to write the equation of a hyperbola. We know the focus points are 4, -3, plus or minus 2 root 13. And vertices are at 4, 3, and 4, -9. So again, this is a hyperbola. And we know it's foci and we know it's vertices. And we're waiting on this one. This one looks very hard. Okay. So let's draw a picture of this. Because we know that this equation that we're shooting for is something squared over something minus something squared over something equal to 1, right? That's our goal. So let's see. Vertices are 4, 3. These are vertices now, and 4, -9. What does that tell me about my hyperbola? Just the fact that those are the vertices? Yeah, doesn't it have to look like this? If those are the vertices? Now what does that mean about my equation, if it opens that way? Y comes first, so I can fill that part in. Knowing that these are the vertices, could I find my center? Yes, I could find my center, because where is my center? It's going to be right in the middle, equidistant. So what's right in the middle? It would be 4, 3 and -9. What's in the middle of 3 and -9? No. 3 plus -9 is -6. Half of that is -3. I'm going to find the midpoint. Is that okay? Does that help me in my equation? Guys, come on now. I even wore my spring break jumper today. Okay. Does knowing the center help me in my equation?
Yes.
Yes. I know I'm going to have y plus 3, x minus 4. Now there's one more thing you can get in that equation right now. From this picture, there's one more thing you can get from that picture. Can you tell me what it is?
16.
You know under the y has to be a, what has to be under y? How far up and down we going?
6.
6.
So
which
36.
means- exactly. And why did I put it under y? Because I'm going that much up and down. Remember, this number tells you how far up and down we go. Now, this number is completely missing. I have no idea what that number is. But I do know that my foci are at 4, -3 plus, let's see, it says 2 root 13, but what is that, the square root of 52? So to get my focus point, I'm going up root 52. Now, in a hyperbola, how do you get that root 52? You add the denominators and take the square root. So what do I add to 36 to get 52? 16. So this number has to be a 16. Remember to find the distance from the center to the focus, which we know is root 52. To get that distance, you add your denominators and take the square root. So since we know it's 52, we knew that one was 36. We just have to figure out what we add to 36 to get 52. Okay? Madeline, you gotta give me a fighting chance here. Okay, I'm gonna still save that one. I'm gonna give you one more easier example before we do this tough one. Okay, everybody all right with that? I think the picture really helps. I told you, you're not required to draw a picture, but it really helps you get a sense of which way things open and all that stuff. Okay, so we have vertices here, and we have a conjugate axis that's 8 units long. That's the given. It is a hyperbola. So I'm shooting for the equation, something squared minus something squared equals what? I know my vertices are at 0, -1, and 4, -1. Now these are vertices. Novartis. What does that tell me about my, oh, look who else showed up.
Good morning.
Ooh, good morning. We're glad you're here. What does that tell me about my hyperbola, if those are the vertices? It goes this way,
A lot of people want to stand.
which means when I write my equation, what goes here? X. Furthermore, I can figure out my center, can't I?
Yeah.
Because it will always be the midpoint of the axes. So what will that be? 2, -1. So x minus 2, y plus 1. And there's one more thing I know. I know this number. How come I know that number?
Because you have the distance.
Exactly, and the distance is 2, so this number must be 4. Now how am I gonna get this one?
What else do we have?
They gave me the length of the conjugate axis. Remember, this is the conjugate axis.
That's 8.
It's 8.
So it's 16.
So it's 16, because if the conjugate axis is 8, that means you're going up and down 4, which means that number has to be a 16. Okay?
Okay.
All right, now we'll do this last hard one, and then I've got something fun for you to work on. Okay, and it's not busy work, it's for points. Some of the points are bonus points. Okay, all right, let's draw a picture of this. This looks very complicated. We have a ton of information. And our job is to write an equation. And we know the center is at -3,6. Okay, this is the center. Now, what's stopping me right now from putting that into my parentheses? Why don't I just fill in the center right now? Exactly. I don't know whether this is X or this is Y, right? So I gotta figure that out. Let's see if we can figure it out. The transverse axis is 10.
That's a horizontal axis, right?
No, it's whichever one joins the vertices, and I don't know which way it opens yet.
Cool.
Eccentricity is 2. Vertical focal axis. Now, what do you think that means?
Means Y is first, because it's on the
It
vertical axis.
means this thing must be opening like this because the distance to the focus, or focus points, is vertical. Now, that helps a ton. What could I fill in?
Y.
Y comes first, and it'll be Y minus 6.
Yeah, then X plus 3.
X plus 3. The transverse axis is right here.
So it's
This is the transverse
25.
axis. I'm going up and down
5.
5.
25.
So under here is a 25. Center to focus over center to vertex equals 2. That's how we find eccentricity. We take the center to the focus and divide that by the center to the vertex, and I get 2.
So
Do I know this distance or
Yes.
this distance, either one? Do I know either one of those two distances?
yeah, you know 5 underneath, right?
Center to vertex is 5. How do I know it's 5?
So it has to be
Because
10.
the transverse axis was 10.
So center to
So
focus is
center-
10.
Center to focus over 5 equals 2, so center to focus is 10?
Yeah.
Okay, now wait a minute. How do we find the distance from the center to the focus in a hyperbola?
Plus.
We add these,
25,
right?
yeah.
So when I add 25 plus something and take the square root, I get 10.
So 75.
So this has to be 75. Why does it have to be 75? Because 25 plus 75 is 100, and the square root of 100 is... Whew.
Easy.
All right, now what we're gonna do is, we're going to, get ourselves all together with this is one big group, and I'm gonna give you 3 equations. Stephen, turn that video off. I'm gonna give you 3 equations, one ellipse, one hyperbola,
you.
one parabola.
We're good.